We are back in business, or almost back in business. But before I talk Aztec basketball, I'd like to go on record that if any of the personnel working today who are here, both print media and television, put in for per diem, strike it off, because they've all had Aztec pizza. So do not let per diem be part of the workload today. And I know some of these guys put in for per diem when they go out on these events. No coaches ever do when we go out, but I know some of these guys do. So now that we're ready to move on, we are excited about our team. And in the other side of my mouth, I'm a little bit concerned because we've had a lot of guys in the ice tub and with ice on their ankle or knee or whatever it might be. I don't think that there's anything to be overly concerned about, and yet when you miss practice, it's concerning. So we've had a number of guys, more than I've had maybe since I've been here. So it's something that hopefully will not linger, because when they're all out there, we've looked pretty good. We've got a lot of depth, which will be my dilemma. Good news to find out who's going to fit. Can I play more guys than I'm normally used to playing? I think we'll be driven by our veteran players. Even though we got 5 new players, our veteran players should be the engine that gets us going, keeps us going, and I like how they perform. So we'll see if we continue to grow as a team. But we're going to have a good team. And I'm anxious to see us play in front of a crowd, even if we don't have all our players, which might not be bad either. We'll have an opportunity to see some guys perform and perform early in a game, and that will help me find out how far I want to go with them as we move forward. So, probably best for me now to take questions that anybody might have.
Steve, maybe the ice tub kind of situation that you've got, is that speaking to the maybe hyper-competitive situation you have with the number of guys all vying to try to get on the floor and as good as they've shown to be? Is that sort of a result of all that?
I think in today's world, as a coach and a program, you have to be a little bit careful because there's no such thing as an off season. You have the 2-hour week you can have with them, and we utilized it to its maximum, and 6-hour conditioning in the quote off season. We met with them first day of school, August 29th, and we started the very next day. So part of it might be a little bit wear and tear. We've gone long and hard, and I know several have watched practice. We've gone long. We've had a number of 3-hour practices. So I got to make sure that I'm not wearing them out. But our practices, they should be competitive. When you're out there, and we have teaching moments in practice. We call technique. We have technique and tempo. When it's technique, it's time to ask questions and to go through form and technique. When it's tempo, we want you to go like you're competing at the highest level you can compete at. So your point's well taken. They go at one another because they all want to play, and they know that to some degree it's an audition every practice as to how they perform against the guy right next to them.
Steve, the challenge of replacing Division I level, what's the hardest part?
I think we lost Winston Shepard and Skylar Spencer and Angelo Cho. Our two big guys, and then Winston about 6'8". So we lost 3 important players, all of them with size. And the one guy with size that's got some experience is Valentine, the Washington State transfer. And he's had some good moments. I like him. I'd never seen him play live. I like what I've seen from him. Jalen McDaniels, our only true freshman, is pencil thin, and he's very talented, but he's played like a freshman a lot of the times, and he knows that. And He's a wonderful young guy that's going to be a very good player for us. How soon, I don't know. But Malik and Zylan are right now going to be the two guys you say, okay, these are the two guys you should know what you're going to get from them, and expectations will be higher. Valentine is another guy that will put in, and that's three pretty good frontline players. Nolan Narang, who's a redshirt freshman, has had health issues. He's been injured and sick a lot. So he hasn't had the opportunity to practice like some of these other guys have. But I think we'll be okay. I think the blend, we had two guys sitting out that are experienced players in Techie, Cesar Gill from Missouri and Max Hostel from Indiana, that have played at the Division I level that I think will be able to help us.
Coach, I know it's just an exhibition, but UCSD's actually a pretty good team. Had a very good team last year, returns pretty much everybody. I wonder how much you know about them and if you can speak to them a little bit.
I'll be real honest with you. I don't know. I know very little about them. I talked to their coach at the Hall of Champions luncheon, and he said, I think we're going to have a good team. We'll do minimal prep work on them. We won't do anything on the court to say, here's what I think they will do, here's how we'll counter it, here's how I think they'll guard us. In these two exhibition games, I want to see how our players react and adjust to situations that they may not know will present themselves. So I think that'll be good for us. But to be honest with you, I will know. They're going to give me a cut tape on them tonight to see a little bit of stuff, but we're not going to show. We'll show very little to our team.
That's by design.
That's by design for this game. We'll do a little something on Thursday. Shoot around will be the first time we'll show film to them.
Steve, how deep will your rotation go? What do you anticipate?
It'll be as long as if you're a healthy body and you're on scholarship, you'll play on Thursday. But I don't think we'll have all our scholarship guys who will play on Thursday because I don't think all of them will be 100% ready to go. And I'd rather hold a guy out than have him play 75%, where I might have him do that against USD or Gonzaga or somebody in our first regular game. But it'll let me see some of these other guys for an extended period. So I don't know. I don't know whether we'll have 10 guys that will play. So we'll see.
How about once you get to the regular season and assuming, guys aren't too banged up, how deep do you think you can go?
If they're healthy, I'd love to go 10 deep. I've never, ever done that in my life. So we'll see.
You guys are right on the cusp of the top 25, but you didn't get in to start the season. Do you prefer starting a season needing to get into the top 25? I know you've talked in the past about saying you like having a number next to your name.
I think everyone does. And in preseason, to some measure, it's a sign of what did you do last year, who do you have returning, and what national awareness and respect there is for your program. So I would just as soon people talk about a team that I know we're going to be pretty good in that light and say, let's live up to expectations and exceed expectations. I asked Mike May, I said, were we rated in anything that you've seen so far? So I have to ask him that. Our players probably know more about that right now than I do.
The minutes and the pressure that the young guards have experienced, first Kell, Hensley last year, invaluable now that you really have them become the leaders?
I think so. I've told people, I think we've got one of the best guard combinations going anywhere, not just in our league. In Jeremy Hemsley, who's a sophomore, who started at the point last year, was freshman of the year, and Trey Kell, who was first team all-league as a sophomore and made as much, I've never had a player make more improvement from year one to year two in terms of on-court performance than what Trey did. Now, how much better will they be together? That's the question. And I'm hoping that they'll make progress together. Jeremy won't sneak up on anybody this year. He won't go in saying, well, he's a freshman and he's our fifth guy that we have to worry about. Though scouting report will be out on him, and I'm anxious to see performance when we go against someone else. I like what I've seen in practice from both of them.
Where is Jeremy grown? Obviously, it's early, but from last year, what have you seen in practice so far where you've seen he's taken a few steps forward?
Jeremy's shooting the ball better. He's changed his shot a little bit. It won't be noticeable to fans probably, but he's shooting the ball better. He's always been a pretty good attack guard. He's working really hard at not just attacking and having blinders make it only he can see for himself. He's finding others a little bit better. So those are areas that he's working on. The one thing that I've noticed in practice is he's shooting the ball from the perimeter better.
Steve, how do you find consistency with Pope and all the dynamic things he flashes?
Malik's, and again, I don't want to talk out of school, and I don't want to put too much. And Malik's been out of the lineup with a leg injury and hasn't practiced for 3 to 5 days. He had been practicing extremely well, been practicing with great consistency, been practicing with great energy, and has been our best practice player. I really like that in what I've seen of him. Now we need to have that translate into on-game performance. And all of us, when we're going good, that helps us go good. Malik's got to make sure that when he hits a rough patch that he's able to fight through it quicker and come right back to form. But I've really been pleased with what he's done in practice. He's bigger and stronger. He's playing bigger and stronger, which is good.